This week in Jamaica Now. Jamaica's reggae music now listed as an intangible cultural heritage. What does this mean? Scotia Bank selling its insurance operations in Jamaica and Trinidad. It's leaving 9 other Caribbean countries. The NWC pension headache. A top executive warns that a reform is coming. Elderly American woman murdered and buried in a shallow grave in Hanover. And the latest in the police death squad trial. I'm Damian Mitchell and this is Jamaica Now. Reggae music is now on the United Nations list of global cultural treasures. Reggae was added to the UN list as an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO, the world body's cultural and scientific agency. This means the music is deemed worthy of protection and promotion. Jamaica's Culture Minister Olivia Grange called the development historic and significant.
We consider intangible cultural heritage to be of extreme significance in a country's identity. And so in Jamaica, we are proud of the fact that this element of reggae music is one in which we often describe as that which we eat, sleep, and breathe. Reggae is no longer only ours. The world has now taken it as their own.
There is now anxiety among Scotia Bank employees following news that the bank will be selling its insurance operations in Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. At the same time, Scotia is leaving 9 other Caribbean countries. The Canada-based bank said that it would be selling its insurance operations in Jamaica and Trinidad to Sagicor Financial Corporation, with whom it will partner to sell insurance products in the countries. The Trinidad-based Republic Financial Holdings Limited will be acquiring Scotia's banking operations in Guyana, St. Martin, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The deal is worth US $123 million. In Jamaica, Sagicor has said its staff will not be impacted. The National Water Commission, the NWC, is now embarking on a comprehensive pension reform as it moves to find $19.5 billion to honor pension liabilities. NWC President Mark Barnett says the reform will impact all employees. Barnett, who appeared before Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, said employees who become eligible for pensions are paid from the tariff collected from customers. But that is not sustainable. The NWC boss said as part of the pension reforms, all employees of the utility company will have to contribute to their pension. He said this will require amendments to the NWC Act. Among the efforts being contemplated to address the multi-billion-dollar pension liability is the divestment of some of its properties that are not integral to the operations of the NWC. The scandal hit Petrojam is to appoint a new human resources manager. This week, news broke that Yolande Ramharak, the controversial executive, had resigned effective November 22. Ramharak had earlier been under scrutiny since it was revealed that she was hired without the required qualifications and was earning just over $13 million a year. That's almost twice her predecessor's pay. Her resignation is the latest in a string of departures at Petrojam and follows that of the general manager, Floyd Grindley. The Energy Minister, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, was also forced to relinquish the post over a series of scandals at Petrojam. A parliamentary committee this week learned that detainees under the state of emergency in St. James were being fed on $300 Jamaican a day and held in substandard conditions. The claims were made by public defender Arlene Harrison Henry. The police have since refuted the claim that physical conditions are substandard at the St. James Detention Center. But the Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has publicly apologized to the detainees. According to the public defender, detainees have also complained about the way they are treated while in lockup. She told the parliamentary committee that breakfast was amounting to $80, lunch $130, and supper $90. Days later, Chad Clark, a former detainee, told Power 106 FM's Morning Agenda that the conditions at the St. James Detention Center were like those of a goat pen.
Because outside of the station, they actually put a shed over and then fence it around, and that's where about 40 plus persons were there. The fed persons, once on the Monday I was there at Freeport, they brought cabbage and kalu themed, but when they brought that, it was in the afternoon and it was cold, and I guess that's their breakfast, so I didn't eat it. On Tuesday, when I was at Barnett Street, for breakfast, they brought bread and they gave persons plastic bags to throw on the sugar and water that the public defender was talking about.
Police investigators have identified a person of interest in the murder of an elderly woman in Fish River District near Orange Bay in Hanover. The woman, 72-year-old Nancy Hardy, was killed and her body buried in a shallow grave. It was wrapped in a green towel, the hands and feet bound, and the mouth stuffed with a rag. Hardy, who often traveled between Negril and the United States, went missing from her home in Whitehall, Negril on Saturday. The police told the Gleaner that they were led to the grave after visiting a house to conduct investigations. They are now searching for a man known only as Rasta. The third police death squad trial got underway in Kingston's Home Circuit Court this week. Detective Corporal Kevin Adams, District Constable Howard Brown, and Constable Carl Buckner are on trial for the September 5, 2011 murder of Andrew Bisson. Defense attorneys have called the Crown's key witness in the case a liar, saying he has failed to provide consistent answers at the trial. The witness, a taxi operator, said Bisson was killed at a board house in Clarendon by the cops. He told the court that all three accused cops returned to the scene the day after the incident. But according to Brown's attorney, Valeronita Robertson, QC, the witness told the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom in a statement that only one of the men had returned. And this week, the court also learned that spent casing removed from the scene were missing. The case continues next week. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, in recent weeks there has been controversy over comments by the mother of the X Factor UK finalist Jamaican Dalton Harris. She told the star that she has been hurt by her son's comments.
We did happy. We couldn't find, we never hungry, we couldn't find things like we could buy, could have find chicken all the time. But we did happy now, we want a skin. We did happy. He never so sad like how they gonna draw out in a putty. They want to bring down this girl for me. Oh God. You think we should have a restaurant? No? Because it's my school already for the things you know. I never tell you I'm sorry for school for the wrong thing you do. I don't want to make it better with me old. I want to enjoy some of what I have. If I remember, say I can come a 9 months, of course I still have it.